Welcome back to Counting the Omer 5786. This is the count for the night of the 16th of May, 2026, and going into the daytime of the 17th of May up until sunset, when it will be a new day. Let's start with the blessing for this mitzvah of counting the Omer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu al sefirot ha'omer. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who makes us holy through mitzvot, and who commanded us regarding the counting of the Omer. Hayom chamisha ve'arba'im yom shehem shisha shavuot u'shlosha yamim la'omer. Today is day 45, which is 6 weeks and 3 days of the Omer. Ushma tiferet shebemalchut ve'yira'u. And hear the beauty within sovereignty, and they shall be in awe. Now we're going to dig a little bit into this idea of beauty within sovereignty, beauty within physical reality. But let us start with this blessing for Torah study. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu le'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who makes us holy through mitzvot, and who commanded us to get busy with words of Torah. We are in the 7th, the last week of the counting of the Omer, which corresponds to Malchut, which is sovereignty, or the physical reality. This is the 3rd day of the week, which corresponds to Tiferet, beauty. So when you prepare for a special day, you take extra steps to beautify yourselves. In the days and places where it wasn't so easy to take a shower every day, you would definitely take a shower or a bath. You might wear special clothes, you might get a haircut or spend extra time styling your hair, you might put on makeup or cologne. This isn't just vain fashion for public consumption, or at least at its best it isn't. These sorts of steps to beautify oneself can be an important part of preparing for a special moment, a spiritual practice even. It is notable that in the halachic codes, the codes of Jewish law, about how to celebrate Shabbat properly, the holiday we have every week, these steps are outlined as necessary for the full experience of welcoming the Shabbat. So it's not surprising that before receiving the Torah, the people of Israel would be told to prepare themselves in a similar manner. These active steps of self-beautification were considered to be acts of respect and devotion to God. The logic goes, if you would take such care before standing before a human king, all the more so we should prepare ourselves before we present ourselves in front of God, who is the King of all kings. You might present a counter-argument that God is always present and we are not always at our most beautiful. But here the metaphor of marriage is apt once again. Your spouse sees you in every possible situation, from the most glorious to the most humble. And when you go out on a date with your spouse, you want to dress up for them to mark the moment as something special. Chidur mitzvah is a concept, beautification of a commandment. So not only is beauty a human need, the act of creating beauty is also a human need. There was recently, like literally this past week, published a longitudinal study of over 3,000 adults in the UK that found that engagement with the arts actually slowed aging, with even stronger improvements showing among those who created art than those who only took time to look at art. What a gift, then, that our Jewish tradition has an understanding of that need embedded in the way that we think about ritual objects. It is considered a mitzvah to beautify a ritual object so that the mitzvah attached to that object is further uplifted by that beauty. This is the concept of chidur mitzvah, making more beautiful the mitzvah. creating beauty is itself a mitzvah. Now, this week we've been reading the Torah text where the people come to Mount Sinai and where God is going to deliver the 10 Commandments. But before we read today's section, I'd like to say a few words. This portion that I'm about to read ends on a very strange commandment. It says, "Do not touch a woman." I want to address that because without context, it sounds as if sex is something dirty and not desirable. But in Jewish tradition, sex is holy in its own right. But there's a catch. We have this concept called tuma, which is usually translated as impurity, but impurity is a terrible translation for this concept. Tuma is not some kind of moral impurity. Tuma is a spiritual residue that does not mix well with the spiritual energy of certain divine spaces. The tent of meeting, the temple, but also Mount Sinai at the moment of the giving of Torah. To clear this tum'ah, you would need to bathe and then wait until sunset the following day for the spiritual energy to clear before coming in contact with the concentrated divine energy that is found in those spaces. So this commandment can be understood as, don't engage in sex, which would accrue tum'ah energy that you will not have time to clean off before you meet God at Mount Sinai. All right, with that understanding, let us continue with our reading of chapter 19 of Exodus. Then said Adonai to Moses, "Go up to the people, make them holy today, and tomorrow have them scrub their clothes, that they may be ready on the third day, because it will be right on the third day that God will descend, Adonai, in the eyes of all the people there on Mount Sinai. Set boundaries for the people around the mountain, saying, you must be wary for yourselves of ascending the mountain or even touching its base. Anyone touching the mountain shall be put to death. On such a person do not lay a hand. He will surely be stoned or cut down. Neither beast nor man on the mountain may live. At a long blast of the ram's horn, only then shall they go up on the mountain. And so he descended, Moses came down from the mountain to the people. He made holy the people. They scrubbed clean their clothing. And he said to the people, you must be ready by the third day. Do not touch a woman. Thank you so much for counting the Omer with me and studying with me today. I would love to hear your thoughts and insights, whether in the comments on YouTube or come on over to school where you can write longer form journal entries or engage in conversation with other students. Either way, I hope to see you tomorrow.